found my camera. So I was thinking, a wise person once said, I think it was Yogi Berra, that an unexamined life is not worth living. And I think that's a little bit harsh if you just take it at, at face value, because, I don't know, an unexamined life might be worth living, but I think if you take it as a sort of truism, you can see how it's just something that's true about life. Because no matter what kind of a living creature you are, your life consists of the world around you. That is your life. And all living creatures examine some aspect of that. They don't examine the full set of all the things around them. They only get certain perceptions of it. So for example, as a sentient being, if you have no knowledge, you have a tumor in your brain, and you have no knowledge of it, that does not exist for you as a thing yet, right? You are the knowing self in this body, right? And not knowing in the sense of, all-knowing in some idealistic, poetic philosophy of you know everything. No, you know everything in the sense that if you don't know about that tumor, it doesn't exist for you. You're limited to what you know. It's not that you know everything, it's that all you know is what you know. Right? And what makes that tumor exist for this person that doesn't know about it in some other sense is not an actual sense because their mind is what we're talking about, as their complete experience. But it's the potential for them to know about it, right? If you find out about it, you have the scans of their brain and you see it, that is evidence of the potential that they could know about it. And that is what gives reality to these physical things that you don't know about, but that you can tell are happening all around you, because when you investigate this potentiality, you can find out, hey, I can figure out, there's a potential to figure out what its velocity is to an arbitrary degree. So it's really like a stone that exists for tens of thousands of years in a recognizable, identifiable by us form. But it doesn't examine its life. And that's the sense in which, an unexamined life wouldn't be worth living, it wouldn't be living. So I tend to believe in this. Now, of course, what the statement is really about is about examining your own life. I find that people don't like to examine their own lives, examine their memories of their life. Right? The simple bacterium is examining the world around it, and that is its life, but it doesn't really examine itself, probably. It doesn't probably have a lot of introspection. It doesn't memorize things from its past. It just takes them as they come, and it doesn't memorize as much as I would think, these past experiences. It changes. It might get imprinted and change as a result of them. But not only does that happen to us, but we also can memorize the situation and have a visualization of the situation. And this is so that we can consider it again later. We can relive it. And people don't seem to do this enough. Both their positive experiences and their negative experiences. They tend to glorify and simplify their positive experiences, robbing them of their full flavor and falsifying them, and suppress their negative experiences. I think it's good that a human mind can suppress pain, and I think it's great we have technology to help us do that. But let's think about when you're suppressing pain without technology, just what the human mind can do. You hurt your foot, it's hurt bad, you can't walk on it, but it's not busted up, never going to heal. It has a sharp pain, you could just kind of say whatever and just give in to feeling it, and you'll feel the throbbing, and the pain is more dull. Okay, that's a good thing, but that pain that's left over, that's the part of the pain that is healthy for you to know, right? Now, we have a pain system and a joy system. They're imbalanced to each other, but neither one, it's not like dark and light. One is just in terms of the other. Darkness is the absence of light. It's not like that. Misery is not just the absence of joy. Joy is not just the absence of misery. There's an objective reality to both the suffering and its negativity, its misery rather, and the subjective value of it too, of suffering. And then there's an objective benefit of bounty and its associated feelings. Right? So, you know, what the biggest thing that people need to go through is their childhood, you know, and it's not always, it's not easy, even for people that might have a good childhood. Because if you have a good childhood, this center, this pain-finding center, well, it'll have built up some grudges. And when you look through your childhood, you'll feel petty, things you might have outgrown. Like, my brother Johnny would never let me ride his bicycle. But you know full well you wrecked his bicycle the first time you ever rode it, and that's why he reacted that way. And to think through that, you'll still feel like angry, and that's why it'll turn out that's why you don't ever call your brother, and it'll make you feel petty, things you're beyond, even because, or especially because, I hope there's not ants out here, especially because it was easy. And of course, if it wasn't easy, if it really was bad, then you run the risk of just feeling bad about it because it really happened and really was serious. You can get it as a source of more pain, especially as you investigate and unlock more and more buried reactions that you had to it. So it's dangerous, but I really think it's beneficial, and certainly in the first case, and also certainly in the second case, because you can learn to deal with these things. And even in the case of things that are really, really negative, you've survived this far. So what was bad then is not as bad now because you've survived and become stronger from it. Of course, if you face that, oh no, it made me weaker, then, you know, that's an unfortunate realization, but this is your life on earth, you know. You want to have realizations like that so you can then say, I could be stronger, this didn't make me stronger, and find a way to make yourself stronger in spite of and through these experiences. So, I mean, I tend to believe the unexamined life isn't really worth living. I know I would not have wanted to live my life if at some point before now, or now, I had to stop learning and changing and growing, you know, from my experiences. So that's what it's all about, you know. And this pain-finding center and pleasure-finding center, they're both there no matter what your circumstances. If you have good circumstances, your brain will go and try to find something to say is wrong with it, you know. And you know, and this is where, yeah, it comes in handy that we can suppress these things, but you don't want to suppress them and forget about them. If you have a negative experience, you just say, it hurts too much, I want to stop thinking about it. The brain is very good at that, better than at physical pain, given time. And the problem is that then it just gets diffused out into a noise, a painful noise. You can make it dull. In other words, you dull the pain. You can dull it so much down that it's just barely noticeable. It's just part of the background noise of pain, which leads to fearful reactions. And if you consciously go over those memories like your brain is designed to do, then you can limit that pain. It could be a packet where it ends. Instead of being a ubiquitous environment that becomes part of your decision-making process, it could just become part of your learning process. Cheers.